tyrant, according to philosophers Plato and Aristotle, is a person who rules without law using extreme and cruel methods against their own people and others. To paint a picture, one of the most well-known tyrants in history was Adolf Hitler. As the leader of Nazi Germany, he orchestrated both World War II and the Holocaust, events that led to the deaths of at least 60 million people. In Golding's famous novel Lord of the Flies, he portrays that concept of tyranny through his character Jack. Golding uses Jack to demonstrate what many have suffered over the centuries. A tyrant's power-hungry, cruel, and oppressive nature negatively impacts the physical and psychological well-being of the people under the tyrant's rule, which could lead to the downfall of humanity. First of all, humanity is the quality or state of being human. Kindness, compassion, empathy, love. Tyrants act against these qualities. This negatively impacts our physical well-being as humans. This type of ruler typically removes protections that individuals have against the actions of the state. They attempt to re-engineer society, often under the principles of communism, nationalism, or fundamentalism, processes that typically lead to extreme suffering, human rights violations, and mass executions. Without any legal protection, individuals are in a state of constant vulnerability and almost complete powerlessness. There have been many tyrants over the centuries, such as Caligula, Benito Mussolini, Joseph Stalin, Donald Trump if he had succeeded in carrying out his plans, and more recently Kim Jong-un. But I'm gonna focus on Hitler. As a power-hungry, cruel, and oppressive leader, he is a prime example of why tyranny is bad for humanity. Historian and biographer Ian Kershaw describes Hitler as the embodiment of modern political evil. He craved power, he would kill anyone who didn't agree with him, and he would do it all with no remorse. In Lord of the Flies, Golding's antagonist Jack has many similarities to Hitler. Not only is he power-hungry, but he also uses violence and terror to control people in the same manner Hitler did. For example, his tribe killed Simon, thinking he was some kind of beast. They also attempted to hunt Ralph down and kill him because he didn't agree with Jack's rules. Jack also has no remorse over the death of Peggy, because in page 181 of the novel, he says,
See, that's what you'll get. I mean that. There isn't a tribe for you anymore. The conch is gone.
Jack makes fun of Peggy even in his death. Jack is the manifestation of true evil, just like Hitler was. Of course, you can't compare their body counts. Hitler's is much larger, but they were both horrible humans who killed just because they didn't like someone, because they didn't agree with someone. In real-world examples, and in the novel Lord of the Flies, you can see how tyranny negatively impacts individuals' well-being. Secondly, tyrants also negatively impact people's psychological well-being. Living in a state of prejudice and lack of basic human rights can be extremely difficult on individuals. Many develop disorders such as post-traumatic stress, depression, anxiety disorders, schizophrenia-like states, flashbacks, recurrent nightmares, poor concentration, and generally impaired functioning. The examples of both Jack and Adolf Hitler demonstrate similar effects on individuals. They both dehumanized people who they deemed weaker than themselves. Hitler dehumanized the Jews by calling them rats or subhumans. He would convince his followers, the Nazis, to despise Jewish people for not being a perfect human race, and would blame every problem in German society on the Jews. They would also spread propaganda about them all over the place. Jack used similar tactics with Peggy. He bullied Peggy and took advantage of his cowardice. For example, on page 17 of the novel, Jack says,
"There, you're talking too much. Shut up, fatty."
Jack made Peggy feel alone and weak. Jack dehumanized Peggy by not calling him by his real name, making him seem like less of a person and more of an object to be ridiculed. Then the other boys on the island started bullying him as well, especially verbally by calling him fat, useless boy in the group. Jack and Hitler negatively impacted certain individuals or groups of individuals' psychological well-being. After being treated in such a traumatizing manner, humans are never the same. The impact of bullying can really change a person, and not for the better. Many become full of resentment, hatred, and other negative emotions that can destroy their humanity. In conclusion, tyranny is like a cancer on society. The violence that happens under this specific type of rule and the psychological issue that comes with this mistreatment really takes a toll on humanity. The consequences portrayed by tyrannical or totalitarian states frequently lead to the destruction of the fabric of society. This has been an ongoing issue for centuries, so much so that Golding took advantage of it to write a book and used his character Jack to portray it. The negative behaviors characteristics of tyrants will always be with us, and that is why we must remain vigilant in opposing them.